Alright guys, welcome back to the 90th episode of this review series where I review everything in Fortnite Save the World. For this episode, I'm going to be doing a review on the Cyclops. I'll be showing you the best perks, the best hero loadout, and some gameplay. Let's get into it. Alright, first for the perks I put on it. For the first one, you can either have crit rating, reload speed, durability, or damage. And crit build is just one of the best builds in the game, and you're going to use it on like 99% of your guns. So I went for a crit build on this one, and I chose a crit rating because like reload speed is not really needed. It won't pull out the most damage, and then durability also isn't needed because why would you get extra durability when you can instead do extra damage, and then whenever your durability gets low on your gun you just make a new one. And then damage is not as good as crit rating and all that, so yeah. And then for the second one, I went with crit damage. There's also crit rating, damage, or fire rate. Fire rate isn't really needed because the fire rate is like, it's kind of slow, but it's not too slow where you would need a fire rate. And then damage, as I said before, isn't as good as crit damage. And then crit rating, you only need one of those per gun, so I went with a crit damage. And then for the element, you can either choose energy, fire, nature, physical, or water. Energy is good for enemies with any element, but the damage is reduced compared to like using fire against nature, because fire does 100% damage to nature, nature does 100% damage to water, and water does 100% damage to fire. And then physical is good against enemies with no element, so I just went with energy because it's all around pretty good with dealing with all the elemental enemies, and I don't have to like change my weapon depending on what element it is. And then for the next one, we've got crit damage, crit rating, damage, headshot damage, or weapon stability. Weapon stability, don't get it. It just makes the recoil less, and like just get good aiming kit you bought. And then headshot damage, you're not really going for headshots, you're just trying to hit the enemy. And then damage, as I said before. Crit rating, as I said before, again, you only need one of them, so I went with crit damage. And then for the last one is damage, crit rating, damage to missed monsters and bosses, damage to afflicted targets, or damage to slowed and snared targets. This weapon, it doesn't afflict or slow or snare targets, so you're not gonna go with those. And then as I said before, only one crit rating is needed. And then damage to missed monsters and bosses, I can see you using that because you're mainly just gonna go for the mist monsters, but like I just went for damage because I'm just gonna go for like all the big enemies like the Husky Husk, and then also mist monsters, so yeah. But anyway, let's get on to the hero loadout. Alright, now for the hero loadout. For the commander, I'm using Beetlejuice, and what she does is Make It Count Plus, which increases pistol and SMG critical damage by 225%. SMG bonus does not stack with assault critical damage. And then for the team perk, we got Blast from the Past, which removes all shield and increases max health by 200% and requires 2 dinosaur heroes. And then for the support team, we've got Saurian Might from Rex Jonesy. Every 1 second adds 3% of current health to damage of next ranged weapon hit. Then we got Saurian Hide from Prehistoric Izza. While shield is depleted, increases armor by 33. Then we got Survivalist from Survivalist Jonesy or Birthday Brigade Jonesy, and what they both do is eliminations heal you for 39 base health over 3 seconds. Duration refreshes with additional eliminations. Then we got Hipshot from Ranger Deadeye, and what he does is increases pistol and SMG damage by 17%. SMG bonus does not stack with assault damage. And then lastly, we've got Six Shooter from Quick Draw Calamity, and what she does is increases pistol damage by 20% and impact by 25% for the first 6 shots in the magazine. But anyway, let's get on to the gameplay. The gameplay you're seeing in the background is a power level 82 4-player repair the shelter mission with the modifiers Lightning Storm, Epic Mini Boss, Exploding Death Bomb, Frenzy Death Burst, and Life Leech attacks, and I was joined with 3 other people. But first, let's talk about this weapon's special perk, which is standing in place for 2 seconds, grants plus 11% damage, and stacks up to 5 times. Moving from that position removes the effect completely. So what you're gonna do, like most of the other weapons in the spy set, is you're gonna build up above your base where you're protecting, and then you're just gonna shoot down on all the enemies, mainly the mist monsters and like the big enemies like the sploders and like lobbers and stuff, so that they don't get to the base, and so that your teammates can just deal with the normal husk without the mist monsters and all of them interfering. So yeah, that's what you're gonna do. The damage is kind of low, so it's gonna take a couple shots to take down the big enemies like smashers and all of them, and then the fire rate is also kind of slow, so it's just a slow and not really that much damage. So it's not really the greatest weapon. It's also not really good against hordes because, you know, it's slow. And yeah, but anyway, let's put it on the scale. Alright, now we're on the scale, and if you don't know what this is, basically I put the Cyclops here in the garbage, it's okay, or legendary category, depending on how good it is. And it's not completely garbage, but it's okay. It's not like one of the greatest weapons in the game. It's kind of mediocre. It's not really that good in the damage. The fire rate's kind of low. And like, I was using a 130 against par level 93 enemies, and it wasn't even one shot in the Huskies. And that's just, it's not really that good at all. Maybe in the garbage. It's kind of close. Lower end of it's okay. But anyway guys, if you enjoyed, make sure you subscribe and turn on notifications, because I do these review videos where I review everything in Fortnite Save the World every other day. And also like, comment, and share so that more people can see my videos. Anyway guys, I'll see you next time.